Good evening, good evening, good evening, everybody. Oh, you all are just getting me ready for tomorrow. Don't get me all hyped up yet. I'm trying to save a lot of it for tomorrow. But I am just so grateful and just so honored to have you here at your university, this Commonwealth's great capital city, urban public research university, the University of Massachusetts, Boston. Welcome home, everybody. Welcome home. Distinguished guests, and all of you are distinguished guests tonight. Honorees, friends, colleagues, community members, welcome to the honorary degree dinner for the 47th commencement here at the University of Massachusetts, Boston. Now, you've been hearing 50 a lot. So you're trying to figure out, well, why is it the 47th commencement, but it's the 50th anniversary celebration? Hey, guess what? That's how we do it at the University of Massachusetts, Boston. We celebrate anything that we can. I'm so glad you could join us for whatever celebration you think you're here for. Thank you for that. This celebration, however, is one that's just amazing because it allows for us to celebrate the achievement of our students. It allows for us to celebrate the achievement of our faculty. It allows for us to celebrate the Chancellor's Medal recipients and also our honorary degree winners. For some of you, this may be the first time that you've been on this campus. If it is, welcome. I hope your shoes get dirty. I hope that you were lost. I hope that you said wow several times as you turned a corner. If you haven't been here in a while, I hope it messed you up to see that your university is transforming before your very eyes. If you were here in January, it's not the same as it was then. Take a walk. Come out here on a Sunday. Go from here to Castle Island and just enjoy yourself on this walkway and out on this beautiful waterfront. We're so pleased to welcome you. We're pleased to welcome you home. We're pleased to have this opportunity to get to know each other in a more informal setting than we typically have here on campus before we hit the stage tomorrow for this wonderful event. On that note, I realize that everyone in this room is going through something. Some of you are fretting the fact that we're going to have such an early morning tomorrow. Yes, we will. And yes, you will, because you will be there and you're going to get there on time. And we want to respect your time tonight by not making this a late night, especially for those of you who've come from abroad. Some of my friends, my new family member, has come from all over the world to be here with us, and we're so grateful to have you all here. Thank you for coming across the world, across the globe. We know you need a little time to recover from jet lag, but it's okay. We're going to do a speaking program tonight. So we're going to keep it short and sweet by doing it in a way that some of you may not think is polite. We're going to talk while people eat and eat and eat and eat. First of all, put your hands together for everyone who's been waiting on us and who has cooked this food tonight here on campus. I don't have to tell my colleagues that forget everything you know about etiquette tonight and about putting your fork down when someone is talking. Just feel at home because we're in for an amazing night. Enjoy your dinners during the speaking program. There are so many of our close friends here. There are so many of our community members and distinguished guests here tonight from our Board of Trustees, state and local government, but also our Board of Visitors, our community partners. I don't want to miss anyone, so as I told many of you in one of the 10 events that I've done today, all of you are just special. I'm not going to start naming how special or telling you how special you are. yet. So thank you for your continued support. Thank you for your continued commitment to your university and for your dedicated service. When we celebrate the 47th commencement tomorrow, we also celebrate each one of you and the vital role that you play in advancing this institution that is Boston's only public research university. I'd like to give a shout out to one person because I learned a long time ago not to miss any opportunity you have to tell the person in your life that allows you to live your life in a way that is sort of pleasing and drama-free. So I sort of just want to say to my beautiful wife, Angela, thank you for being here today. A wise person in this room told me tonight, they said, is Angela here? I said, she's here. They said, well, that's a great way to have a date night, because I know you guys don't get to see each other so much. And I said, well, that's true, but we try to find every way we can to see each other. And so we're so grateful, I'm so grateful to have you in our presence tonight. I'm also grateful to see my colleagues from what we call downtown. Senior Vice President Marcelette Williams, and of course, our great President, Robert Corbett. We're so grateful to have you here. There are lots of others from our system office who work with us all the time, and I'm so grateful to each and every one of you. You know who you are. But to get this program started this evening and know, staff, that you all can do your thing. I know you have notes in here that when Chancellor Motley says this or that, you're supposed to do that or this. Well, just do it, all right? And let's get this done. And don't worry about all of the other details and dynamics of that. I'll take care of Diane and Allie and the others who've given you those other instructions, okay? And so we're going to ask President Corbett to come up and start us off this evening. President Corbett, thank you. Come on up. My man. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
It's been hard for the last 4 years following Keith at the microphone, but I made the mistake when I first arrived that I said to him, you know, you're a little too laid back. I know that's hard to believe, but you just got to get up there and put a little more energy into what you're saying. But it's always great to be here. First, let me say welcome from the University of Massachusetts, the 5-campus research segment of public higher education here in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, educating every day over 100,000 students. We're very excited about our role, and each of the 5 campuses are like brothers and sisters. They are each complementary to each other, each doing different things that are helping the Commonwealth move forward. They fight a little bit, but they collaborate an awful lot also. This is today my favorite UMass campus. I like to always start by saying that. Keith is obviously today my favorite UMass chancellor. And as any good family, that rotates a bit, depending on the given day. I like to call this period, you know, the period where we're going through commencements. I've already been to 3. I do 1 per campus, and I'll be here tomorrow for the 4th. But it's really an exciting part of what higher education is all about. I call it the season of celebrations. We have not only the commencements themselves, but dinners like this and all kinds of award ceremonies where we're celebrating everything that is good about higher education and what higher education does for the people in this country. And it really is a primary role for us to provide the students that we're graduating with whatever tools they need to become whomever they're going to be in the future. We just sort of launch them on that path and wait for them to find the path that's going to take them to what they want to do and what they can accomplish and how they can impact society. So in many ways, commencement as a graduation we view as an endpoint, because it's a point where you've, after 4, 5, or 6 years, are finally getting your degree. But in many ways, it's really a new beginning. It's a point where you are starting off for the rest of your life. We also like to take these seasons of celebrations and thank all of the organizations and individuals that support us and allow us to do what we do. We really do have an important role in the public sector of providing high-quality education at low cost. And that's become more and more of a struggle for all of us. But I can assure you that everybody I work with, and I've been doing this for over 40 years, is committed to maintaining affordable, accessible higher education, but to do it with high quality. Because if it's not high quality, it's not worth doing. So congratulations tonight to our Chancellor's Award recipients, to our Chancellor's Medal for Service recipient, to our Chancellor's Medal for Human and Societal Development recipient, and particularly to our honorary doctorates. And I'll end just with a short bit of information about how the rule of 6 degrees of separation comes together tonight in a very personal way for me, because I know all 3 of the honorary degree recipients in different ways. Deval Patrick was the governor when I was hired as the president of the University of Massachusetts system. And before I was even here officially, he invited me to go on a trade mission with him to Israel and London, and I got to know him quite well during that period. It was a really great way to launch my presidency and for him to get an understanding of what UMass was and where I thought we should go. And it really was because of his leadership. He was the man who started to refund higher education in the state and get us back to a level on the education side of our budget where we split the cost with the student. When I was in school, the state paid 70% of the cost of education in the public sector. We were down to about 40% of the cost when I was talking to the governor, and by the end of his term, we were back up to 50-50, and we appreciate, Governor, your support on that. We also have Jack Connors with us, and everybody in Massachusetts, not only for the last 4 years, but for the last 40-plus years, appreciates everything Jack has done for the Commonwealth. But again, I had not lived in Boston since the 60s, and when I came here, Jack reached out to me and said, if I can help in any way, please call upon me. And we've called upon him, and this campus has called upon him, and he's always been there. And we appreciate this. He's supported to the Edward M. Kennedy Institute, which he was instrumental in helping to get funded, and also what he's done on the UMass Boston campus itself for scholarships and fellowships moving forward. And finally, let me mention Bernie Osher, who's sitting here to the left. I've already talked to him and the family. We grew up in Biddeford, Maine, not quite together. I helped shovel out the stores that he and his family owned when I was a 5th, 6th, and 7th grader. I like to think that that money that was provided by shoveling out those stores helped launch me and helped me get to college and pay that way through college. But more importantly, Mr. Osher has funded in every system I've been in. I've been in the California system, the Maryland system, the Massachusetts system. He has funded institutions in each of those systems, and more importantly, pretty much every state in the country at this point. And we appreciate everything he's done for lifelong learning. So let me say, the future looks bright. I think we are putting out this year about 17,000 graduates, 80% of whom will stay here in Massachusetts. They're going to build this Commonwealth into what we need in the future, just like the past graduates have built it into what we needed in the past. And we have, therefore, great reason to celebrate tomorrow as we go through the ceremony with our graduates and we see launching them off on their careers. Thanks for being part of that with us this evening.
So thank you, President Corrett. We're so proud to have you in your leadership here tonight. Thank you. Next, I'm pleased to introduce our student trustee, Nolan O'Brien, from the University of Massachusetts Board of Trustees. Nolan is a junior. He's majoring in political science, is in his 2nd year as a student trustee. But we got the great news recently that he will be serving a 3rd term as student trustee for this campus. And for that, we are very, very grateful. Nolan, come on up, say a few words of welcome.
Good evening, everybody. So first off, I'd like to say that I'm very happy to see everybody's eating while we're talking. And I'm going to do this joke. I know I did it last year, but I'm going to do it again because I think it's kind of funny. So my freshman year, when I was first elected student trustee, I was very new to a lot of these dinners and different events, and I was invited as a student trustee-elect to come to the honorary degree dinner 2 years ago. And Chancellor Motley, again, we want to have a nice evening. We want everybody to eat as we're talking, get used to it, what's going to happen. And I was very, very hungry, and I was new to this thing, so I just kind of dug in and started eating and realized that I was the only one eating. And Chancellor Motley said, hey, this guy knows what he's doing. He knows how to listen to his chancellor, so he's eating and everybody else should. So it was the beginning of a good working relationship, so yeah. But that's how I like to start this night. So thank you, Chancellor Motley, and thank you, President Corrett, and all the distinguished guests that are here tonight. It's a true honor to be briefly addressing all of you here tonight at the Edward M. Kennedy Institute for the United States Senate on UMass Boston's campus. It's personally moving as well because in 1 week from today, I'll actually be heading down to the United States Senate to work for Senator Ed Markey this summer, so I'm very happy about that. As a political science major from Quincy, Mass, speaking at this prestigious venue, I think it's quite fitting to quote former U.S. Senator from Massachusetts, John Quincy Adams. JQA once said, "To furnish the means of acquiring knowledge is the greatest benefit that can be conferred upon mankind. It prolongs life itself and enlarges the sphere of existence." Here at the University of Massachusetts, Boston, we are consistently furnishing the means for acquiring knowledge and enlarging that sphere of existence. Whether that is with new buildings, innovative academic programs, or by welcoming new and old friends to our community, as we are with tonight's honorees, UMass Boston is constantly moving forward to open doors of opportunity for all. So on behalf of the UMass Board of Trustees and the UMass Boston student body, I would like to say congratulations, and let's keep the work going. Thank you.
Appreciate it, man. Looking kind of sharp there, too, man. I love it. Come a long way since that freshman year. Wow. That suit is kicking, man. I love it. So, thank you, Nolan. Again, I'd like to encourage everyone to please continue eating, as Nolan said, and enjoy your dinners. Now, commencement day, of course, is one of our university's most anticipated celebrations. It's going to be a wonderful ceremony tomorrow, celebrating the collective achievements of 4,144 graduates, or like chancellors, we rounded up to 4,200, or I might round it up to 5,000, depending on how I feel tomorrow morning. So excuse me, but I'm going to tell you the number tonight, 4,144. Outstanding students, outstanding graduates. As excited as I am to participate in the ceremony, I know that this experience for many will be a day that flies by like you wouldn't believe. So I'm grateful to have this chance tonight to spend time with our honorees who deserve these moments of quiet appreciations before the big day tomorrow. One of our stars is this year's John F. Kennedy Award for Academic Excellence winner. Now, you know tomorrow is John F. Kennedy's 98th birthday. And so we're so grateful today that a student whose own experience as an immigrant from Colombia has ignited in her as a deep commitment to social justice and a strong desire to make a difference for Latinos in Massachusetts. Please join me in recognizing our outstanding graduate who you'll hear from tomorrow, Julie Suarez. Julie? I also want to acknowledge we have some faculty stars up in here tonight. The winner of our annual Chancellor Awards for Distinguished Teaching, Scholarship, and Service. Please stand as your names are read. The recipient of the Chancellor's Award for Distinguished Teaching is Professor Eric Blazer from the Department of Psychology and the College of Liberal Arts. The Chancellor's Award for Distinguished Scholarship goes to this year to our Professor Gene Rhodes from the Department of Psychology. The winner of the Chancellor's Award for Distinguished Service is Professor William Robinson from the School for the Environment. Give them all a great big round of applause. Congratulations to each of you. I am so proud, and tomorrow you're going to hear lots about them as we introduce them to the over 20,000 people that crowd into TD Bank North Garden for commencement tomorrow. It's now my pleasure to recognize from the University of Massachusetts Boston's class of 1976, Gina McCarthy, who will give the principal address to the class of 2015 tomorrow and will receive the Chancellor's Medal for Service to Society through Environmental Protection. We've asked Gina to deliver our commencement speech because, as the administrator of the United States Environmental Protection Agency, and well before her appointment to our nation's top environmental post, Gina has been a leading advocate for common sense strategies to protect public health and the environment. Gina, we look forward to hearing you tomorrow. Stand up so we can see you. We know that your words will be an inspiration to the class of 2015. We are especially proud and incredibly grateful to have you here. This is not your first dance with us. You've been an unbelievable alumna. We're so grateful to you. And so please know how much you are appreciated, you and your family. Thank you so much. Let's give her another round of applause. So here's how this works tonight. So Gina's going to talk tomorrow. So tonight we're going to flip the script, and we're going to allow those people that, because it's going to be such a hectic pace tomorrow, we're going to flip the commencement script by giving our other honorary degree and Chancellor's Medal recipients a chance to speak to us tonight. We want to hear about their lives and their work in their own words. I'm looking forward to hearing about that. I haven't asked them to do hour-long monologues, so you won't get all of their lives tonight. However, I think over tea and crumpets at the end of the night, you may be able to dig a little deeper. We're going to begin with another recipient of the Chancellor's Medal, someone who is known as the conscience of Boston and a vital member of our city's social justice movement. Hubert, or we love him and know him as Hubie Jones, is Dean Emeritus of Boston University School of Social Work and has contributed influentially to the science of human relationships. The many organizations he's formed, built, or rebuilt across our city have benefited from his touch, and I'll be talking about lots of that tomorrow. This university stands with the city of Boston, the importance of which we learn from watching inspirational leadership in action like his. As someone who grew up and have been watching Hubie Jones all of my life in Boston, we always sat around and we sort of were part of that club that said, he's going to slow down and we're going to catch up to him. A decade would go by, and we would think we were all that. He would roll out something else. So we said, okay, he's 60. He'll stop. We said, okay, he's 70. He'll stop. We'll catch up to him. I won't even go into the rest of that journey, but we're thrilled to have you here tonight, Hubie. Thank you for accepting this honor. Come on up and say a few words. Appreciate you.
Good evening. I am thrilled to be the recipient of the Chancellor's Medal at commencement tomorrow. When I came to UMass Boston in 1993, after 5 years at MIT and 16 years at Boston University, it was a homecoming of sort. I am a graduate of the City College of New York, where I received a great tuition-free education. If it did not exist, I might not have gone to college. From the time I was 10 years old, my parents made it clear to me that there was a free college education waiting for me, and I better succeed academically and get there. It was the brass ring to social mobility and decent life chances. It happened. It was the biggest opportunity break of my life. Coming to UMass Boston, serving first as senior fellow at the McCormick Institute, and then as special assistant to the Chancellor for Urban Affairs, reminded me of the great value of a public academy with its deep commitment to access and diversity, while being relevant to the urban environment in which it lives. I was fortunate to conclude my academic career in such a committed and effective institution of higher learning. Dr. Kenneth B. Clark, the noted African-American psychologist who taught my Introduction to Psychology course, made it clear to his students that we had a responsibility to use our knowledge to give back to society and to work to change it for the better. He was a powerful role model who was at the time heading the social science team that presented a brief to the United States Supreme Court in Brown versus the Board of Education in Topeka, Kansas, which resulted in the court outlawing racial segregation in public schools in America in 1954. Access to a very affordable college education sent me on my way, and today UMass Boston provides the same opportunity to poor and working class young people like I was to get a great education and go on to serve their communities and their country. So tonight, I publicly thank Governor Patrick for the huge investments you and your administration made in the public universities and colleges in the Commonwealth. If you did nothing else, your place as one of the great governors in the Commonwealth's history would be assured. Thank you. Thank you. The growing economic inequality gap in this nation is maddening. If we do not provide much greater access to college for those at the bottom of our society, we will inherit a whirlwind of shame and societal dysfunction. That is why President Obama's move to make community college education tuition-free is a no-brainer. We have got to get very serious about this national crisis. I decided that my route to giving back and making a difference in this society would be through becoming a professional social worker. So I pursued graduate education in social work at Boston University. I got my degree, married Catherine Butler, and we decided to make the Boston area our home. The rest is history. I'm biased, so I'll say the rest was glorious history. I've been very fortunate to be a civic activist, working with a bevy of wonderful, committed people to change Boston for the better. Marion Wright Edelman, the great president of the Children's Defense Fund, has often said, "Service is the rent you pay for living." Service is the rent you pay for living. A long time ago, I made the decision not to be a squatter on the land, but to pay my rent. That is what I do. I pay my rent. I urge you to do the same. Thank you for this great honor.
UB Jones. UB Jones, ladies and gentlemen. I know that earlier my big sister, Jean McCormick, was here. Jean is here. Jean, stand up for a moment. Jean is no stranger to the University of Massachusetts, Boston, the University of Massachusetts, period. But she's here now as the president and CEO of this Edward M. Kennedy Institute. And I must say, Jean, it's marvelous to walk into this wonderful place on our campus and see it in such wonderful hands, but how beautiful it is in here tonight. Let's give Jean and her team a round of applause. I say all that because we're standing here because of a young man who I have the honor of introducing next, who is an honorary degree recipient tomorrow. He's someone who's known as the beacon of philanthropy for the city of Boston. He's founder and chairman emeritus of one of the top 20 advertising agencies in the country. John M., or affectionately known as Jack Connors Jr., has been a major catalyst behind dozens of initiatives that have benefited the people of Greater Boston. It is known that the fundraising for this building would not have been what it was without Jack Connors and all of his support. That can be said about many things in Boston and beyond. As co-chair of the University of Massachusetts Boston 9th Annual Gala, he helped raise a record $1.4 million for the James T. Brett. I know Jim was here earlier. He had to go. He's on his way to Hartford, but he stuck around. James Brett, who the chair, stand up, Jim, in disability and workplace development. He raised $1.4 million. Every dollar on this campus, as you know, matters. So $1.4 million here, I can't even explain what that feels like, man. Thank you. His continued engagement, he hasn't stopped there. It's helped raise awareness among business leaders of the important contributions that persons with disabilities can make to our region's economy. We're so pleased to have him here tonight. I'm going to talk more about him tomorrow. But what I'm honored to have in my office is something that's symbolic of Jack Connors. It's a picture of Jack standing behind me, peering out, and it's put there to let anyone know that he has our back here at the University of Massachusetts, Boston. Welcome, Jack Connors Jr.
Thank you very much, Chancellor Motley. Before I begin, is there anything anyone would like to add to what the Chancellor said about me? That'll be enough out of you. Thank you very much. So, Chancellor Motley, President Corrett, thank you very, very much for this honor. It's a special treat to be here when you consider the accomplishments of my fellow honorees. I've had a chance to work with the governor on occasion. I met Mr. Osher in an elevator in San Francisco about 12 or 13 years ago, and the rest is history, wonderful history. This is a special time and a very special place. Just to tell you a little bit of a story about this institute, maybe about 9 years ago, 7 or 8, 9 years ago, I got a call from then U.S. Senator Edward Kennedy, and I was not one of his closest friends. I may have been in the circle of the closest 20,000, as a matter of fact. And he asked if I would chair a fundraiser to raise $100 million to build this institute that he and his wife Vicki had envisioned as one of their many, many legacies. And I said, Senator, I have absolutely no idea how to raise $100 million, and even less of an idea how to say no to you, so the answer to the earlier question is I'd be happy to do it. So about 2 years ago, Pope Francis wrote a letter to a number of villagers in a small area of Italy, a small region of Italy, and he said, and I quote, In this world of globalization, we have fallen into a globalization of indifference. We have become accustomed to the suffering of others. It doesn't concern us. It's none of our business. Well, I think it is our business. And I think for some of us, indifference is unacceptable and compassion is much more attractive. My life today is primarily devoted to making a difference, and it has become a labor of love. I'm particularly proud of this honor from this place because indifference doesn't live here. Indeed, this is where opportunity and compassion come together. It's absolutely extraordinary. I'm told that 41% of the student body is diverse. That is not only the best in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts of any college or university. It is among the 3 or 4 best in the United States of America. And by the way, that's a credit to you. So when Eileen and I were working our way over here, we live 6 miles from here. It took us roughly an hour and a quarter. We were talking a little bit about Senator Kennedy, kind of waxing nostalgia. But we were also talking about a couple of other folks. We were talking about Keith Motley, who has, and by the way, can you imagine if he ever overcomes his reticence, what a great speaker he's going to be. Just, you've got a great future, Chancellor, you really do. It's just 1 or 2 more lessons and you're going to be fine. But then we talked about the opportunity I had to be involved in raising money to create a chair for Jim Brett and in honor of his brother and disabilities. And it was here at the University of Massachusetts, Boston, that I had a chance to meet a wonderful young woman. And I'm going to embarrass her just a little bit. And I'm going to ask Ashley, I know you're over there, Ashley. I'm going to ask Ashley to come over and just stand with me for a brief moment. Ashley?
Ashley, come on up.
Come on up. Come on down, Ashley.
Come on down.
No, you got to come up and see me. Come on up.
Come on up. Come on, Ashley.
This is one of the poster children, one of the poster women. By the way, I love you. I love you. Eileen, I love her. It's as simple as that. Ashley is an inspiration. She's one of many examples of people that some folks weren't going to give them the opportunity, but Keith Motley gave her the opportunity, and the University of Massachusetts gave her the opportunity, and the University of Massachusetts in Boston gave her the opportunity. And it's people like Ashley that attracted me to do some work for this great university. This is the future. This is the future. It's happening right here. When I was a young man, and that was a very long time ago, I had an opportunity to go to Boston College and graduate from Boston College in just 4 short years, which was kind of a miracle. And the tuition when I entered Boston College was $700 a year. It's now $50,000. Boston College has created a lot of opportunities for a lot of people. But for this generation and generations to come, it's places like the University of Massachusetts, and there is no greater model for what's possible than what has been created under Keith Motley's chancellorship and leadership. And not just Keith, so many wonderful people that are here that are part of the administration. So Eileen and I are very proud to be with Ashley and to be with you tonight to tomorrow accept this award. And if you have anything additional you'd like to say about me, we'll hang around later and listen to you. So, Ashley, thank you very much. Thank you. I'll escort you back. Come on.
Hey, Ashley. Hey, Ashley. You know you're making me jealous. I told you, when this guy comes around, okay, thank you for my hug. All right, you know I'm a little insecure, okay? So thank you. We're so proud of you and so grateful to you. And so now you can escort him back now that I'm not so jealous. Now that I'm not so jealous anymore. Okay. Thank you so much, Jack. We surely do appreciate you. Next, I'd like to invite up another honorary degree recipient, an individual who is an extraordinary patron of education and the arts, a civic-minded community leader, and a respected businessman. Bernard Osher established the Bernard Osher Foundation, which, yes, give him a round of applause, Bernard Osher. He established the Bernard Osher Foundation, which through its charitable giving to support post-secondary scholarship and promote lifelong learning has transformed lives. We gave him an opportunity today at lunchtime, well, it was a little before lunchtime, about 11 o'clock, to see all of the lives here, or just a sampling of those that are on this campus in our Osher Lifelong Learning Program and our Osher Reentry programs. And it was an amazing event for us today. And I hope, Mr. Osher, you had a great time there today. The Foundation's endowment in support of the Osher Lifelong Learning Institute at the University of Massachusetts, Boston, has empowered 1,100 seasoned adults. I made the mistake years ago of not calling them seasoned. I called them our elders or something like that. And they let me know that 10 years from now, you'll hope you're one of the elders. And they were telling the truth. Those adults are able to pursue learning for pure joy because of Mr. Osher. The Foundation's Osher Reentry Program has reopened the door to higher education for students, including students here at our university, and it will continue to support countless future generations of non-traditional students, many of whom told me their stories today and brought tears to all of our eyes. And he is one of our university's most generous benefactors. Please welcome Bernard Osher. Thank you, man.
You do a good job. Thank you very much. I feel very much at home here at the University of Massachusetts. The first speaker this evening was Robert Carrette. Robert Carrette comes from Biddeford, Maine, where I come from, you see. And he used to shovel snow in front of my father's hardware store. And my father told me afterwards, this man is going to be a success. And look what happened to her. I met the chancellor in San Francisco, and we talked for a while and so on. And he says, you're coming to San Francisco. And he says, you will have a very good time. And then he got hold of me and took my arms like this, and he says, you hear me? You're going to have a very good time. And I'm having a very good time. My wife and I and the trustees of the foundation are very proud of our association with the University of Massachusetts, led by Chancellor Motley, who does a very good job. That's an easy plug for you. No charge for that. It's a good job. We have long been interested in programs that encourage and assist the reentry and return of students to complete their baccalaureate degrees. We saw quite a few of them today at lunch, as Chancellor said. Many of these students found their education disrupted by forces often beyond their immediate control, such as financial problems, which we all have, health issues, family needs, and military service. The University of Mass in Boston has embraced these students as they have as today, and offered them the opportunity to return to school and prepare themselves for production and fulfilling their lives. We have been hopeful that also, we have another program, as the Chancellor mentioned today, of lifelong learning. We've also been hopeful that more older and seasoned adults could have enriched their educational programs and learning for the joy of learning. Now, in this program that they have here at the university, there are approximately 1,100 people here. that attend these programs at the university at very, very little cost. And I must say, we have approximately 120 of these programs, and I must say the program here at the University of Massachusetts is one of our top ones as it is. I am very grateful to the university for enabling a very diverse set of people to realize their dreams, and it's my pleasure and honor to support their efforts. And I want to thank you on behalf of the foundation. Thank you very much.
Actually, the story goes that he grabbed me and said, "Welcome to San Francisco. I've been waiting for you." And we've been very close since that day. Thank you, man. I appreciate you. And I'm grateful that you flew back here just to be here with us today. Now I want to invite a close friend of this university, someone who's been described as a visionary in government, whose inspirational leadership has helped people to help themselves to the American dream. This honorary degree recipient has been a staunch advocate and steadfast supporter of the continued transformation of our University of Massachusetts Boston campus. When you roll up on this campus, there's a building that now greets you with a hug, but it also hugs you through the 220,000 square feet of unbelievable opportunity for the next generations. That is this governor, the governor of Massachusetts, the Honorable Deval Patrick. Some of you might think, well, what is all that about? Well, it took courageous action on his part to come out of the box talking about the University of Massachusetts in this great Commonwealth where privates have had such a wonderful head start. And so we're so grateful that he funded public education at the highest levels in the history of the Commonwealth. We're so pleased to recognize him with an honorary degree for his extraordinary service on behalf of the common good. And so please welcome with me the Honorable Deval Patrick, Governor.
Thank you, Chancellor, and to you and President Corrett and all of the family of UMass. Thank you so much for the incredible honor. If it's true, and I think it is, that we are judged by the company we keep, I feel like the judgment for me is going to be very, very positive indeed, to be in the company of my fellow honorees, and indeed all of you who have shown so much love and support for the University of Massachusetts Boston. I was earlier today at a commencement at my old college, and I was reminded, and I gave the commencement address there, so I'm not going to repeat it for you tonight, but I was reminded as I stood there of my own commencement, where the commencement speaker spoke, I think, for 3 days. And therefore how important it is for me to get on and get off. I just want to say, as I listened to Bernard and Hubie and Jack talk about their own motivations and the things that have moved them to be involved and supportive of UMass Boston and of education and a whole host of other opportunities in education, it strikes me that you must all know that the American dream is in trouble. Each of us have lived it. Each of us have lived it. And it was opportunities to get a great education and to be able, through that education, to imagine a different path for ourselves and our families, and then reach for it, that made our dream possible for us. And so it is incumbent, I think, on all of us to think about who's next. That's what UMass Boston is about. That's what each of these honorees have been about. And indeed, that's what all of you, each and every one of you, are about by being here tonight and by showing your support of UMass Boston. We have to pay attention to the singular idea unique in this country, that you are not defined by your zip code of birth. And it will be up to great, accessible, affordable education to help us realize that dream. And I thank all of you for that. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. We're so grateful to you. Our last, but not our least, honorary degree recipient tonight, whom we are privileged to introduce, is someone who's been an inspirational role model for persons, but also persons with disabilities, and for all people everywhere. The Honorable Heidi Zhang contracted a disease at the age of 5 that left her paralyzed from the waist down. But if you've never had a moment like I had this morning at 10 o'clock a.m., when she came into my office and we locked souls, it was one of the most amazing moments in my lifetime. We both felt it. We shared that with each other, because it's so nice to have a partner in the world doing tremendous work. And she knew that she was home here at the University of Massachusetts, Boston. Through an incredible display of resilience and courage, the Honorable Heidi Zhang has drawn from her personal experience and gone on to become a leader in creating an inclusive society. She will soon assume the presidency of Rehabilitation International, dedicating herself to the implementation of the UN Convention of the Rights of Persons with Disabilities and the new decade for persons with disabilities in Asia and the Pacific region. That will happen in 2016. As chairperson of the China Disabled Persons Federation since 2008, she has inspired several generations of Chinese youth. Please help me in welcoming the Honorable Heidi Zhang.
Shall we go up there? Okay. Oh. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Let's speak English. Yes, okay. Dear Chancellor J. Keith Motley, distinguished fellow honorees, ladies and gentlemen, good evening.
Good evening.
Today, I'm thrilled to come to the University of Massachusetts, Boston. I have been to the United States twice. This visit, however, is of special significance. It is an immense honor to be awarded the honorary doctorate degree of Arts and Humane Letters by the University of Massachusetts, Boston. Hereby, I would like to avail this opportunity to express my sincere gratitude to the university. I was overwhelmed by your warm invitation with humanistic sensibilities. And I would also like to send my special thanks to Chancellor Motley for conferring me the honorary degree on behalf of the university. To me, it's both an honor and an inspiration. In my view, a person, no matter disabled or non-disabled, should never give up pursuing his, her dream with persistent efforts. Many years ago, I said, even with broken wings, the heart will still fly. Now, I fly over the Pacific Ocean to share with you my story. I was paralyzed by spinal hemangioma when I was 5 years old, and wound up bedridden for years. Each day was lonely, long and painful. My mother once said to me, "Be brave, Heidi. Persevere, and life will get better." I never went to primary school or middle school. My classroom was my bedroom, and my best friend and the only classmate was my cat, Mimi. I persevered by teaching myself and creating my own study methods, including the English learning. Years later, I was awarded the master's degree in philosophy of Jilin University. I have been a professional writer and a vice chairperson of the Writers Association of Shandong Province. I'm founder of foreign literature and writers, including many American writers, such as Theodore Dreiser, Mark Twain, and Jack London, John Steinbeck, Henry David Thoreau, William Faulkner, Saul Bellow, and poets like Walter Whitman and Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, etc. I read so many books about beer. When I was a little girl, I like to read very much. They are like my soulmates. Among their works, The Old Man and the Sea by Ernest Hemingway is my favorite. I was deeply moved by the indomitable spirit of Santiago, who stood as an undefeatable flag in my heart, with his ragged boat against the fierce ocean. My heart has thus been empowered by the world literature, which enabled me to break the barriers of disability, widened my vision, and set my imagination free to fly. Up till now, I have published full-length novels, prose, and even film scripts. With those works, I'm quite gratified when I come to the United States of Massachusetts, Boston, like a student who has submitted her thesis. I was elected the chairperson of China Disabled Persons Federation in 2008. China is home to over 85 million people with disabilities. My colleagues and I have been working to improve the life of those 85 million. Nowadays in China, no matter what city you visit, whether you are at an airport or a train station, you will find universally designed facilities. Each and every province or autonomous region has already built its own rehabilitation center, and many communities are capable of providing some form of rehabilitation services. At present, disabled student enrollment from primary school up to the university level has reached almost 400,000. This morning, I told our dear Chancellor the news. I'm happy to tell them and share with his some great news. Students with visual impairment in China can use special designed paper of Braille. This year, during the National College entrance exam. In addition, the guide dogs are permitted to access into the public area from May 1st this year. Thank you. Thank you. Last year in Warsaw, I was elected the president-elect of Rehabilitation International, which is a heavy responsibility for me. I look forward to promoting the welfare of persons with disabilities around the world with unremitting efforts. And I will give priority to the survival and the development of women and the children with disabilities, so that they could have more access to opportunities. Once again, I would like to extend my sincere gratitude and my best wishes to the University of Massachusetts, Boston. I would also like to thank Chancellor Motley and all of friends. I look forward to seeing you again in China in the future. And I hope, thank you. And I hope we can have more exchanges and cooperation in the future. I'll do my best to do all the things better to serve for the people with disability than before, okay? Thank you. Oh, thank you.
You are welcome. So grateful to you.
Thank you.
What she didn't tell you, she gave you the number 85 million, but she didn't tell you that she's already touched and been in contact with 27 million people. That is an amazing thing. Thank you. So, what a warm-up for tomorrow, huh? Thank you so much, Honorable Heidi Zhang. Thank you so much. Thank you again to all of our speakers tonight for sharing your reflections. We look forward to honoring you at the 47th commencement during our 50th anniversary celebration with our 5,000 graduates tomorrow. But hey, before we conclude tonight's program, I want to thank again our wonderful chef. Was it wonderful tonight? Also, all of the wait staff, all of those folk from Sodexo, thank you for doing what you do best. Allie, come up here. Allie Duffy, come on up. I want you to see who has led the team behind all of what you're seeing around commencement tomorrow. This young lady has been put to the test. She was told, the chancellor likes to tell people last minute, and last minute for a commencement is the year before you're going to do something. So she had to find a place. She had to deliver on 11 colleges and all kinds of institutes and students and others, everything that we wanted. And she's done an incredible job. To you and your team, thank you so much. We're looking forward to tomorrow morning. We're so grateful to you.
Thank you.
So grateful to you. Hold up, hold up. Is there anything that I'm supposed to tell them before tomorrow? I know that we have an early morning tomorrow. I'm supposed to tell you that. I want you to know that you can feel free to stay. I'm not. And continue to chat and enjoy the wonderful company. But I look forward to seeing our honorary degree and Chancellor's Medal recipients early tomorrow morning on time at TD Bank North Garden. We have to do some picture taking and all kinds of other things. Thank you to everyone for being here tonight to celebrate this special occasion. Have an unbelievable evening.